What is going on, guys? Torchy here. Welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you guys again for the feedback on the last video. We got a lot of good comments saying that the video helped you guys, so keep the comments and feedback coming. We love to hear it. And of course, if you guys are enjoying the videos, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and if you want to see me play live, check out the Twitch channel link in the description. So in today's video, I want to go over the topic of peeking. We'll walk through the idea on both attack and defense, and basically for today's video, we want you to think about the most optimal play that you can make so that you're in the most advantageous position when you're taking your gunfights. To start off the video, we're going to go ahead and start talking about angles. Basically what we're talking about with angles is also known as line of sight or LOS. The terms are pretty much interchangeable and they mean the same thing. Now, of course, obviously, each map and each area and each site has angles or lines of sight that you will be taking your gunfights from. Now, why do we care? Well, if you recall in the last video, we talked a little bit about crosshair placement. If you haven't seen the video, I highly recommend you check it out. Watch tip video number 2. We talk a lot about good crosshair placement and how you can improve your gunfights with that. When it comes to angles, whoever has the better crosshair placement, generally speaking, will have the upper hand. As you guys can see, we're going to hop into a custom real quick. We're going to go onto the map Haven. This topic obviously applies to all maps, but we'll just use this one as an example. And we're going to start off by talking about defensive holds. Let's start with defense because I think it's the easiest to learn and understand. And once you get a hold of this, you'll be able to reverse engineer the topic and kind of apply all these tips to your offensive angles and rushes. A defensive hold is where you pretty much are going to hold an angle on a route that the opponent is most likely going to come through. And of course, this will come with practice and time. As you play the maps, you'll understand the routes that your enemies are most likely going to take, as well as pick up on habits that your enemies are going to take. Each person is different. Each person, you know, will take a site a different way. So your best option is to kind of just pay attention throughout the game, but also play a lot. Get used to the maps. So again, we're here on Haven at C on the defense side. As the round starts, the wall right here will go away. And what we're doing here is kind of just holding C long. The angle that you want to take doesn't really matter, but the entire idea is that if they were to walk through C long and try to push to sight, we have our crosshair at about head level. Again, we really want to, you know, drill this into your head that good crosshair placement will help you win more gunfights. No matter where you are on the map, whether it's at C long or at garage doors, you want to have your crosshair pretty much placed at head level and either up against the edge of the wall or a little bit further so you can react to somebody running straight through the door. Maybe you have a little bit of lag, your ping is an issue. Maybe you'll want to place the crosshair just a little bit further, so in case, like I said, they just run or swing through this doorway, you can react accordingly. And with good crosshair placement, all you'll have to do is just left click, tap at the head. Another good example is here at B site. Enemies will be coming around this corner. You're protected from window, and all you have to do is keep your crosshair placed right about here. Now notice we're pointing down because there is the slope leading down to bottom mid. So you want to aim at about head level where you think they're going to be. Again, that'll come over time, knowing exactly where the head level placement is for good crosshair placement. So defense seems pretty easy, right? That's pretty much all there is to it. Some key points that you want to note real quick is that when you're holding angles on defense, switch it up every 1 to 2 rounds. You really don't want to be predictable and have the same angle every time. Somebody might just swing the corner and pre-fire you. So if you're playing here, you get a couple kills, you win a couple rounds, switch it up. Maybe you start to play back here and you're holding the headshot angle on the box. Or you might even want to just play back sight and just hold the angle where this is pretty much head level. This is a really, really easy headshot angle to hold from, same as the other side, and so on. So definitely switch it up every couple rounds. Another good tip for you is also to hold angles where you have a box or a doorway, so that way when somebody peeks you, you can pop off a few shots, maybe get the kill, and then retreat back to a better position and then re-peek the angle again. Having cover is really, really important. You really don't want to be taking your gunfights out in the open, especially on defense, because for the most part, you don't really have to. So that's pretty much it for defense. Let's move on to another side of the map. from an attacking standpoint. So now that we've covered the defensive hold, let's try to reverse engineer the idea so that we can apply this knowledge to an attack side or to an aggressive push. First thing we want to cover is, when would you want to peek aggressively or push an angle? Well, obviously, number one, if you're on the attacking side, you have to push a site, or two, if you're on defense and you actually have to be aggressive, you're looking at a situation where you are retaking a site or you're rotating to where the spike was located. So here we are back at C long, where we kind of started the video and the topic. We're going to reverse engineer exactly what we kind of talked about on defense. So we know that from a defensive standpoint, somebody's going to be holding the angles as we approach C long. Okay, now notice what's wrong here. I wide swing, there's so much area that an opponent could be, and if they're playing somebody like Omen or Jet, they could be up here, they could be up here. This is really bad. Do not, and I repeat, do not wide swing angles like this, especially if it's 5v5, maybe in a 1v1 scenario. Even then, I really do not like seeing players just wide swing angles like this. There's just way too much room for the opponent to be that you have to now think about and flick to, and you know, you're putting yourself at a really huge disadvantage by wide peeking. So how do we avoid this? What we first need to understand is a concept called slicing the pie. Sounds really dumb. It is an actual term used in like tactical combat training, and it definitely applies here in FPS games. Slicing the pie is essentially where you are clearing points and angles slowly, moving around a pivot point. Notice how I'm basically peeking the corner like this around this pivot point, but I'm taking it nice and slow. The enemy could already be up here at C long. Clear, clear, clear. He could be back here, he could be back here, and I'm just going to slowly clear it out, right? Obviously, you don't want to take that long of time. You'll understand, you know, once you play more, exactly how to check these angles and slice the pie, if you will, a little bit cleaner. But look, we've cleared out pretty much all of here. Now our target could be back here, could be up here, could be here, and we're just going to take it nice and slow and keep our crosshair at about head level. The last thing we need to check, for example, at C long, is this cubby. They could be up here. So you're gonna, if you want to slice the pie on this cubby, for example, we have our crosshair at head level, and we're just gonna peek, right? That makes sense. You want to get used to this motion of strafing and moving your mouse in this fashion. The way you're strafing, you're pulling the mouse in the opposite direction. I'm going to hold A and pull my mouse to the right. That makes sense. Something you can do too with a nice drill is try to keep your crosshair on the corner as you're turning. So that way, if the opponent was in the corner, as I'm clearing out every section, I know this whole area is clear. He could still be in this corner. If I have my crosshair placed on the edge of this wall as I strafe, I now can take that peek confidently, right? You'll see oftentimes players are just going to run here and then try to flick. We've already talked about that. It could happen. You could get lucky. You could be really good at reaction time. But the most efficient way to check this angle, to check any of these angles, put your crosshair head level against a wall and then just strafe out. Strafe out. Does that make sense? This is a really, really good drill that I want you to practice. Strafe and pull your mouse in the opposite direction. Use a corner of a wall to really help you build that muscle memory. Okay? And again, slicing the pie, we're just going to clear it out one area at a time. Let's go down here into the garage connector and use the same idea to kind of put your crosshair on the edge of the wall and then you peek the corner. Okay? Just like that. We're using this edge kind of as a guideline for our crosshair. We have it at head level, aiming at the door. And now we're going to peek this corner, keeping our crosshair at head level and kind of just using that pivot point. That's a huge thing and a huge drill, again, that I want you guys to practice, is this movement of using that pivot point to slice and clear out angles and corners. Again, we've talked about slicing the pie. Something else you can do is to just jiggle peek corners. Okay, get the information whether or not the opponent is going to be there. Obviously there's nobody here, but let's just say I jiggled the corner and saw my opponent. Now I want to kind of retreat or perhaps call for backup. maybe have my teammate push him from this angle, and all I'm doing is I'm just gonna peek real quick with my crosshair at headshot level in case I do need to take the shot back up, and you can use that to gather intel. What you want to do pretty much when you're peeking corners is gather information safely. You want to get that information before you commit to a fight. You never know if there's going to be 1, 2, 3 people around the corner. And if there are, you can take your fight and reset once you see your opponent. I see maybe 1 or 2 guys here. I can reset and try to isolate it into a 1v1, get the first kill, reset, and then peek again and get the second kill. Like I said, you really want to take all your gunfights from the most optimal standpoint that you can. You don't want to just dry peek, wide swing out in the open into 2 targets. It's just not going to work out in your favor. So, like I said, if you're going to try to peek through B, for example, I have my crosshair lined up against the wall. I can just jiggle, get information. Maybe this guy decides to peek, get the first kill, and then I'm slowly clearing out, right? I've gone from where the opponent could be, and I'm slowly taking it. They could be in the cubby. I'm going to go ahead and put my crosshair there, transition back into the back of sight, just like that. You want to just practice that mechanic, that idea of strafing while pulling your mouse in the opposite direction. It'll really help you, especially if you can keep your crosshair at head level. You'll be able to just peek a little bit more confidently and win out more gunfights. So looking at this footage right here, I'm in a 2v3. I have bomb. I'm now down to a 1v3. I'm gonna plant C site. I've planted it for long so that I can go straight down to long and just watch the bomb from a long angle. Okay, I see the Phoenix is pushing me with an LMG. Don't know exactly what it is. And now you'll see the power of holding your angles properly with good crosshair placement. I can hear, and this guy's just spamming. He's just going to give me a free kill. I peek. I see 2 players there, so I know that they're going to try to peek me in a 2v1. I isolate the first kill and reposition myself. Now all I have to do is just play the bomb, peek, get a couple shots, get her off of the bomb, and again, I'm just going to put my crosshair head level. She misses her shot. I get a little lucky, but isolating the gunfights, slicing the pie, and just taking each gunfight, isolating it to 1v1s instead of wide swinging into 2 guys. I think that's definitely the right play there. That's it for today's video. We've covered a little bit about general concept around peeking and how to hold angles. I hope you guys learned something. Of course, like I said, if there's anything else that you want us to go more in depth on, we could cover this topic, you know, for several different videos on specific maps, specific angles, specific holds, whatever you want. Let us know in the comments below. I really enjoy making these videos, and I hope that you guys enjoy watching them and you learn something and can apply this to your games. I've definitely heard, like I said at the beginning, so many people have given us feedback saying that these tip videos are helping them out a lot, and I hope that these continue to help you. So if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Turn on the notifications. And once again, if you want to see me play live, catch me on Twitch. Link in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a good one. We'll see you next time. Peace. I hope you guys learned something new. We covered pretty much how to train your mind and nope, reset. Train your mind. What am I talking about, bro? You must empty your mind. Okay, to talk feedback from you guys, and nope. Blah, blah, blah.